The first thing that you're going to need to do is go to the document sharing area part of the course, go to the Datasets Access category, and here you'll find the datasets required for the exercises. I'll be using the Premier products. For the sample exercise, you'll need the Henry books and the Alexa Mara. Make sure you do download the Access version of these datasets. After downloading the datasets, when I double-clicked on it to open it in Microsoft Access, because it had not been opened before, I did get a security warning. I'm using Access 2010 to demonstrate. If you do get the security warning, make sure you do enable content. This will then allow you to create the actual queries that are required for the example. So I'm looking on page 68, and it says for the first example they want me to list the number and name of all customers. So I'm going to create a query. I use the query design, and I need the number and name of all customers, so that would come from the customer table. So I double click the customer table and close. I want the customer name and the customer number. The first icon on the left is view, which will allow me to see the actual data set. So I can see that yes, I do have all the numbers and the names only once, because there's only one table that it's pulling from. And then I need to save it, and when I name it, I need to name it query 1 because it goes with the question 1 in the example. For the next example, I'm going to create a query. This time they want the complete part table. So I'm going to add the part table and close. I could use the star to give me all of the fields. You can see how I double click the star and that's going to show me all the fields. That's one way to do it, and I believe that is the way that your textbook refers to. But personally, I know that from experience that I'm probably going to at some point want to have some criteria on there, so I double click the title bar and drag the fields down so that each field is actually in its a separate column. Either one of these is acceptable for this type of a query. And when I view, I now see everything that's in the part table. Because this is question 2, I'm going to name it query 2. For the third one, they want me to go ahead and create a query that has the number and name of all customers represented by sales rep 35. So I'm going to need the customer table, and in that table I have the rep number, so I don't need the rep table. They didn't provide the rep's name to me. So they want the number and name, customer number, customer name, and then I need, that's all they want me to list, but they only want those where the rep is 35. So I'm going to double click the rep number, and my criteria is 35. Now if I'm new to Access, I'm probably going to feel good taking a look at it and making sure that I only see rep 35, but yet the rep number was not one of the fields that they wanted to display, so I'm going to uncheck the show for the rep number. I only need that column in the query for the criteria so that I'm only seeing the customer number and the customer name. And then of course I'm going to save this as query 3. For the fourth one, they want me to list the number and name of all customers that are represented by sales rep 35 and then have a credit limit of $10,000. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the customer table into my query, and I close the query dialog or the show table dialog box, and I'm looking, yes, credit limit is in here. So they need the number and name again of all customers that are represented by sales rep 35 that have a credit limit of $10,000. Credit limit of $10,000. Notice there's no commas or dollar sign is in the criteria. Again, if I want to show it at that point and see that that's what I have, but they do not want me to list these things. They only ask that I list the number and name of all customers. So that's my resulting set. The other two columns are there only for criteria, and I'm going to save it and name it query 4. For the fifth query, they want the number and name of all customers represented by sales rep 35 or who have a credit limit of $10,000. Actually, that's so similar to query 4, I'm going to go ahead and copy query 4. So copy, paste, I'm going to name it query 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and I'm going to change it. Whoops. I switch to my design view. I'm going to change this $10,000 from here and I'm going to put it here. By having it on two separate lines, instead of an and, it becomes an or. You can see that I have quite a few customers now. Again, if you want to, you could check these so you can see what's actually happening. I've got, looks like 4 of them that are rep 35, 2 that are rep 65 but have a credit limit of $10,000. So I'm definitely using my or criteria properly, but do not want to show those. And of course, I've already named this query 5, so I just have to save it. For question 6, or query 6, for each order, so I'm going to start with the orders table, list the order number, order date, number of the customer that placed the order, and the name of the customer that placed the order. Well, I added my orders table and I can see the number, date, and customer number, but I don't have the name. That's in the customer table, so I'm going to have to go ahead and add both tables to my query grid. So they want the order number, the order date, the number of the customer who placed the order, and the name of the customer who placed the order. I can see my resulting data set, and again I'm going to name this query 6. For number 7, I'm going to list the number and name of all customers represented by Juan Perez. So we know from what we've already done that the customer table only lists the rep number, so I'm going to need that rep table in order to get his name into the query. So we want the number and name of the customer number, customer name, represented by Juan Perez, so I need the rep's last name and first name. His last name needs to be Perez, his first name needs to be Juan. I'm going to take a look. Yep, that's correct. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck because they don't want to show those two columns. They only want to show the list of these two columns. And I'm going to save this as query 7. For the 8th one, how many customers have a credit limit of $10,000? Okay, this one's a little different. We're looking to do a totals query here. So we want to see customers with a limit of $10,000. This is in the customer table. So I'm going to pull in 2 different fields here, and first thing I'm going to do is look at the data. So I just pulled in the customer number and the credit limit, $10,000, and I can clearly see that what I'm after is a 3, but it wants me to, the query should tell me 3. It should figure it out for me. So I need to, in my design, I need to turn on this totals, Greek letter sigma, and what I want to do is count the customer numbers. And now I should get an answer of 3. I don't need to see the credit limit though, so I want to uncheck that field. And so my count of customers is 3. I'm going to save that and name it query 8. I will do a couple more here. For number 9, it says to find the total of the balances of all customers represented by sales rep 35. So I've got my query and my customer table, I believe, has the balance in it. I'm just making sure. Yes, it does. So we want the balance when the rep is 35. We need that totaled. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my totals row with the Greek letter sigma icon. I'm going to go ahead and change this from group by to sum. I don't need to see the rep number, so I'm going to uncheck that. And so I should get my sum of the balance right there. I'm going to save that and name it query 9. And the last one I'm going to demonstrate is number 10. Give the part number, description, and on-hand value, which it defines as on-hand times price for each part in the item class HW. Okay, so I need my query design. It wants the part number, description, and on-hand value. Part number, description, and on-hand value is going to need the price for each part in item class and the class. So everything I need is in the part table. So it wants me to actually show the part number, the description, and the on-hand value, which is the price times the on-hand. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and widen that column so you can see what I did. What I actually typed was the name of the, let me zoom in on it. I actually typed the name of the what I wanted to name the column, on-hand value, followed by a colon. I did not type the square brackets because there are no spaces in the field names. I didn't have to. Access automatically put them in. So I simply typed price asterisk for times on hand, all one word, and as I said, the program went ahead and put the square brackets in for me. So when I take a look at it here, you can see the column title is on hand value, and they did name it as I guess they put a space in it. I could have, but they only want it for each part in item class HW. So I need to go ahead and add the class field with criteria of HW. They don't want to see that, so I went ahead and unchecked it. So there's my resulting data set, and I'm going to name that query 10. So I think by doing that, you get an idea of how your exercises should be completed and how they should be named. Good luck.